Hello, welcome to Fundamentals of Project Management. And the first course we're going to cover today is What's in it for me? And if you're new to our program model, the same format holds true for all of our courses. We will give you kind of a lesson breakdown, tell you the objectives for the course, and then take you through and teach you each of the course objectives. And if it's in a classroom setting, we'll open it up for questions along the way. So Lesson 1, why should I consider a career as a project manager? Lesson 2, how much money can I make as a project manager? So we'll give you some examples and averages. And lesson number 3, are there industry certifications available for project management? And what if I'm not certified? Where can I start? And each lesson will include some suggested tasks and or a set of test questions, but let's go ahead and get it kick-started. So the course objectives, we're going to provide an overview of the career opportunities that exist for project managers. We're also going to provide a brief overview of the Project Management Institute certification, or PMI certification, which is the industry recognized certification for project managers. And then we're going to highlight some great career opportunities that you can embark on even before you become a certified project manager. We're going to focus on 2 career opportunities that pay great money. Not that we're always in it for the money, but it helps. And those 2 are business analysts and project coordinators. So those are 2 career opportunities that exist once you get the proper skill sets, and you can go into those career opportunities even before you become a certified project manager. So Lesson 1, why should I consider a career as a project manager? Well, first of all, let's define what a project is. So by definition, if we go to Webster or the dictionary, project is a specific plan or design. It's been defined as a planned undertaking. A large supported undertaking is another definition, and I'll expand on these a little bit more as we get further into it. A well-formulated piece of research is one definition, and a task or problem engaged in usually by a group. So what does all that really mean? It's really, from my definition, a set of organized tasks that have a start and an end. And maybe a great example, not that you have to be in the construction industry. Let's take home setting at home, for example. If you wanted to build a deck or a patio on your existing home, you would have to lay out a set of tasks or things that you would need to do, sometimes in order, before you could complete the deck and go out and have a barbecue. So in that context, a project would be the list of tasks or specific plans or the planned undertakings that you would need to go through in order to start the construction and design and building of the deck before you could have a barbecue. So what exactly is a project? Well, large or small, a project always has a couple of key elements to it. They have specific outcomes, they have a definite start and end date, and most of the time they'll have an established budget. So if we go back to the example of building a deck, we know what the specific outcome is. We want a wood deck that is attached to the house so that I can have barbecues, and they will have a definite start and end date. So we want to start it, let's say September 1st, and I want it done no later than 2 days before Thanksgiving because I want to have a Thanksgiving barbecue. And then there's actually an established budget. So although I might want to build a multi-tier, multifaceted deck, I might only have $1,000. So each of the above items affect the other. For expanding For example, expanding a specific outcome might require more time or more resources. So if we started by saying we wanted to build a 10 by 10 deck and we needed it done 2 days before Thanksgiving, all of a sudden we say, oh, I want to have a 20 by 20 deck. We still might want to meet that end date, but we might need to add a little bit more money to bring in more resources. So again, each of the items above could have an effect on the other. And again, maybe moving up the end date might cause you to reduce the results or outcomes. So, all right, if I want it at the end of October instead of 2 days before Thanksgiving, maybe I'm willing to go with a smaller deck, or maybe I'm willing to pay more for more resources. So again, a project, specific outcomes, definite start and end date, and an established budget. So what's a project manager? It's a really an individual, but a project manager is a professional in the field of project management. So project managers can have, and typically do have, the responsibility for planning a project, executing it, and closing it down. And it typically, that project manager role or career path, I think the upside is it crosses a lot of different industries. So there are project managers in the construction industry because you have to plan out and build and execute and put a bow on the construction of a new building. Architecture, computer networking and telecommunications, healthcare, you have to plan for projects, as well as software development. So a project manager is really a person or a professional in the field of project management, and they're responsible for not only planning but executing and closing. We'll talk about closing projects a little bit later on. So that's what a project manager is in the general sense of the word. The upside is there's a shortage of good project managers, and I might even expand that to say good project coordinators, because sometimes you might go ahead and have a project management certification from that PMI Institute, but your ability to organize and manage tasks and overcome challenges, you may not do that very well, so that might mean you're not, although you're certified, you're not necessarily a good project manager. So there definitely is a shortage of good project managers. And once you acquire the PM skills, or the project manager skills, they can be applied and used in multiple industries. And we talked about some of those industries in the previous slide. It's important to note here that I say once you acquire the PM skills. It does not say once you acquire your PM certification. It says once you get the skills. Not to sell short the importance and validity and recognition of the certification, but in a lot of instances it's good to just have the good skills, and you can get to the certification a little bit later. So we've covered what's a project, some of the roles and responsibilities of a project manager. So you're probably asking yourself, what's in it for me? How much money can I make? So there's great opportunities to make a great salary as a project manager. And I'm going to kind of bounce between project manager and project coordinator. And when I use the word project coordinator, let's just assume I'm giving you the skills, but you haven't been certified yet. So you'll see that the income average ranges somewhere between heck, it might be $50,000 you can make as a project manager. So that's good money. Here's just another breakdown of project managers in the various industries. So IT industry, software development industry. So as you can see, once you get the skills and or get your cert available, and we've already talked about that. Again, the Project Management Institute. This is just a quote from the Project Management Institute, and the net of it is there's a shortage of skilled project management professionals, and that's expected to continue. And again, I think it's just important to note that the certification is key, but it's not the absolute requirement for you to get in and start delivering and using the good skills. So the PMI Institute's been around for about 40 years, and they're an advocate on behalf of all project management professionals around the world, not just here in the United States. And it really establishes some common language, some common terminology, and some best practices for how we plan for projects, how we implement or execute projects, best practices for closing down projects, best practices for managing changes that occur once we get something started. So if we started building the deck and we're halfway done and all of a sudden the owner says, I want to double the size of the deck, the PMI Institute has established some great standards for how we manage those changes. It's referred to as change management. And then once you get certified, the actual certification is called the Project Management Professional, or PMP. But we'll go on to the next lesson. So what if I'm not certified? Where can I start? As I mentioned before, there's some great career opportunities available in the field of project management, and you don't necessarily have to be certified. There's two pretty common roles throughout the industries that we referred to earlier, whether it's the healthcare industry, the IT industry, construction industry, business analyst. So if you were to go to jobbing.com or monster.com, you might find the requirement for a skill set that matches project managers, but you might find it categorized under something called a business analyst or a project coordinator. And these are the same sorts of skills that you would need if you are a project manager. You'd need to manage the tasks or the steps required to complete the building of the deck. You would need to manage the resources that would be required. You need someone to come and pour the cement. You need someone to come and pound the nail. You need someone to come in and stain the deck. So project managers are required to manage those tasks, those schedules, those resources, and the budgets. And in most instances, business analysts and project coordinators are expected to do the exact same thing. So as we kind of bounce between, how much money can I make as a project manager and or a business analyst, you'll note that it's about the same. You'll see the business analyst might be a little bit less on the average, but if we look at $45,000 a year and we assume that each person working full-time in the United States or across the country, let's just say in the United States, is working about 2,000 hours in 1 year, you're talking, over $20 an hour. So if you're at $40,000 a year and there's 2,000 working hours in a year, you are making about $20 an hour, which is pretty good pay. Another example of pay scale for business analysts, again, you'll see that they're making pretty good money, and in this representation, somewhere between 50,000 and 70, pretty decent money. Here again, you'll see it ranges. I think the point that I want to make is there is a career opportunity for you before you get your certification. Business analyst and or project coordinator might be a role that will require the same skills as a project manager without you having to be certified by the PMI Institute, and the pay is actually pretty good, and you can build on the skills that you learn as a business analyst, and while you're pursuing that as your day-to-day career, you can also then start preparing for your certification. So in summary, we gave you an overview of the career opportunities that exist for project managers to kind of answer the question, what's in it for me? We've provided you with a brief overview of the Project Management Institute and that certification. We've highlighted also some great career opportunities that you can jump into even before you become a certified project manager. and that's a business analyst or a project coordinator